Hey y'all, I want to welcome y'all to this channel. It's a Chicago Vibe podcast. We'll be dropping this Saturday with your girl, Lady T. Marie and Mr. Success. You don't want to miss it. Okay, what up, y'all? It's your girl, Lady T, and I thank y'all for tuning in to It's a Chicago Vibe. Today, we have a special guest by the name of Andre Hunt, aka Versatile. Stay tuned.
How this young lady changed from an ordinary lady to Lady Aphrodite in 1 year. Her last event she threw didn't get the feedback she would have liked, but this year's event was special. Can't just be ordinary. This was a special milestone in her life. So to be great, she did what all the greats do, higher greatness. Blessed with Success Entertainment. Let us plan out, create, and host your special moments and parties and your events, and you'll be able to tell your own success story. Blessed with Success Entertainment. We're not just ordinary. We go above and beyond, without boundaries, without measurement.
All right, everybody. Welcome back to the show. It's a Chicago Vibe with me,
DJ Mr.
Lady
Success,
T, and our special guest, Versatile. Before we begin, sir, just introduce yourself to the audience and let them know what it is you do.
Okay, well, they call me Versatile. From many years ago, I started off in college doing DJing. Started doing different things with that, production a little bit here and there. But when I started doing the DJing part, I needed to figure out how to pay for flyers and graphics and things of that nature. So then I ended up basically asking around, and it was super expensive. So I decided I'm gonna teach myself. So I taught myself how to do graphics. From that point on, and I got to the point where I was working with so many artists, and then I also had a real bug for music in itself. So me as an artist myself, a little bit here and there, I ended up going full scale with it, doing the artistry side of it, producer side of it, learning the engineering side of it, so I can keep everything in house. Started a label back then called Deluxe Entertainment. So I signed 8 artists that I was managing, putting them in position, doing different things with B96 and a lot of different companies. It's crazy. But going from that point there, and then obviously being amongst all the different shows and concerts, picking up and filling in the gaps to where I seen there was a necessity for stage management and things of that nature. So I just started jumping in, doing it, and learning hands on. So going from that point, ended up putting more and more notches in my belt, even the media side and everything. So it's like, basically it's still going. It didn't end or anything like that. It's still going. I mean, I don't know how much you want to cover, but as of late, like I was telling Toya, I ended up getting picked up as assistant director for a film, as well as executive producer for the soundtrack. Also acting in the movie itself as Versatile, in a scene of doing a concert scene, performing my own music or whatever. And then it's a lot of different things that have been opening up, especially like this weekend coming up here. Have a brunch with Mama Jones, Jim Jones's mom, and their people, different record executives coming in that want to sign artists. So I'm doing a brunch Saturday from 11 to 3, and then going to GCI to announce one of the artists that we do work with that's getting signed by them. And then Sunday is a conference. Summarize everything up, basically in a nutshell, I got into this, went through the, rigmarole, everything, ups and downs, the good, the ugly, all to come back to basically me trying to be example and lead by example and artists and help anybody that needs help, that I can help with the resources I have, to climb to higher levels without going through the scamming and the bad business stuff.
Oh, that's amazing. I want to ask a question. I know you mentioned that you have a brunch coming up with Jim Jones' mother. Can you let the people know, like, what are some of the artists that you've worked with that's not local artists?
That's not local artists?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, shoot. Everybody from Twista, Busta Rhymes, Shauna, Do or Die, Kusha Conflict. Some of everybody.
Wow.
In and out of town. Yeah, because I was doing a lot of traveling, doing shows with, tours, all kind of stuff. You know what I mean? So it's like I have that side of the spectrum. And that's why when I come to the other side, the indie side of things, with, trying to help artists or whatever, I bring that expertise and that knowledge and knowing what to expect, and what is not going to fly and what will fly to the indie side. So that's why a lot of times I try to encourage the artists, but also try to educate them. Because ignorance is bliss. A lot of people take advantage of that. So I try to give them as much as I possibly can if they're willing to listen and apply it.
Okay. So with everything that you have accomplished in the music industry, is there anything that you would like to do that you haven't tapped into yet?
Ultimate goal, honestly, is basically to keep planting the seeds. I always tell people, like, you can plant a seed, but you might not be there to water it. But eventually to see the fruit of it, the success of the artist or whoever you helped and everything. But ultimately, like I tell people, I haven't scratched the surface of the end goal I'm supposed to get to. People think I've done a lot. To me, I haven't done much, and the reason why is because humbly and honorably, I have to basically touch nations. You know what I'm saying? So like, I'm not even close to my goal where I'm like, okay, so every door that opens, every step I'm taking is opening those doors to make that happen. You know what I mean? I have to get to higher levels of the entertainment industry, as well as, like I said, nations, going across seas and reaching those who, haven't had the opportunity to be reached. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Another thing I wanted to ask is, as far as you being an artist, do you have anything that's out or basically coming out soon?
I have a album I put out some years ago. I have music I'm sitting on, which I shouldn't do. And I do have some singles that are up as far as on all streaming platforms, and I kind of put them out after I came back from the tour almost 2 years ago now. Actually, it was in 2021. But I haven't been pushing it. Like I said, I put myself on the back burner, and went the business route, went the entertainment route more so, even media. Like right now, I'm with Skyline Radio. I'm connected to all the media outlets anyway, the radio stations and all of that, but more so trying to get into, like I said, finding the platforms, using my resources to help everybody else. You know what I mean? And it's a lot of work, and sometimes it's not always, glitz and glamour, but the hard work, I like doing that, because at the end of the day, my homie Sinatra, he told me the same thing. He was like, when you get back on these stages, when you go put, and I was like, bro, I'm like, I'm helping y'all. I'm helping all the artists, what I'm saying, from the big three, Dream Team, everybody, all the other independent artists out here that really have their business in order, have their music registered, the EPKs done, what I'm saying, getting everything situated, get to that next level, the bigger stages. That's what I'm trying to help them get to. So me doing music, I'm actually tapping back into it now. Finishing up the studio, which you've seen, a little bit of that, to start getting back on the production side more, to get, more as far as releasing music. People asking for features like left and right, and I'm like, you know what? I'm starting to feel that itch again. So okay. I'm about to get back onto doing music, but not to the point where I'm pushing myself heavily as an artist, but more so just to keep on contributing to the art. You know what I'm saying? But anybody else I can work with, like we already discussed, as far as like whether it's gospel, whether it's rap, R&B, country. I know artists all over the world, you know what I mean? So it's like, and then also me being part of Fleet DJs, about to be part of Next Level DJs, all the platforms, you know what I'm saying? Radio station being built in South Bend, official radio station 101.7, doing just different things. Like I said, trying to utilize everything I can while I'm here. You know what I'm saying, to make sure. So
Sammy, you have anything?
Yeah, what are like some of the biggest challenges that you face trying to stay on your game and above and beyond the competition and stuff?
Honestly, some of the biggest things, the obstacles, sometimes it could be self, because at the end of the time, sometimes it's like, when you're I use this all the time as an example. When you're the go-to for everybody, not only just for entertainment side of it, but also mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and people reach out to you. A lot of times it gets kind of lonely at that point, because you're like, only person I can go to, only the next level for me would be to consult with God, because everybody else looks to me for the answers. Then I got to go right. I'm like, hey, I need help here. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes it can get a little much. There's a lot of draining, a lot of energy taken away because you wholeheartedly want to help these people. You know what I'm saying? So like, not every person is the same. So you have to approach things in a different manner with each person and kind of cater to their level, meet them where they're at, saying to bring them higher. So that part is a challenge sometimes. But as far as on the entertainment and music side of things, a lot of the challenges in the beginning and toward the middle. Right now, I don't see it as a challenge. It's more like I'm seasoned and I'm humbly honored that I've built a reputation of respect. And people know that if I say it, you can take it to the bank. You know what I'm saying? So like I feel really, really blessed in that manner that I'm able to create that kind of reputation, and respect level from everybody, from artists to managers to business executives, corporate office, and the churches to you name it, label execs everywhere. You know what I mean? So like, as far as the ultimate challenge usually is because people try to imitate and try to duplicate and they mess it up. So it's like, you try to make sure your name is not attached to that kind of stuff, especially scammers and bad business operators.
Absolutely.
I try, that's the hard part. So I try to make sure that I stand out and above that and let it be known I'm not for mess. I don't get involved in mess. I don't deal with mess. Don't bring mess my direction. If you want truth and you come ask me, you're going to get the truth. If you want me to help you guide you in the right direction business-wise or anything like that, I'm going to help guide you and take it to the, basically to the promised land if I can, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
You mentioned something about you in the film. What type of films do you do with movies, films, or what type of production
Yeah, no, actually,
in film?
Actually, it's funny because I actually interviewed with Billy Ray Valentine and his cast yesterday for a movie that got coming out called Masquerade Trap, which will be out on the 18th of April on Tubi and other streaming platforms and everything like that. They have over 5 billion views and all that and streams and all that good stuff. But I'm going to be in their next film called God, which is ironic and it's so awesome because like they say I have an exciting role and they don't want to tell me they're going to surprise me. So I'm like, all right, that's fine. But I'm actually currently, after I get off here, I have to go do a shoot for the film called Joey and Jordy. It's a hip hop love story. And that's by director Sophia Soso Manson. She works for 92.3 as well, but she's a director. But I'm in there. That's what I was talking about earlier as far as doing that part of it. Like it's falling in my lap. They're like, okay, hey, we need you to first start off me being security. They're like, can you do a film for security part for us? We don't have the person there. Okay, no problem. They went from the security to the fight scene, and then I was okay. So I show up, and then they're liking like what I'm doing. So they're like, hey, this other role just became available. You mind doing it? His name is Wild Bill, and they're like, it's like, give me the description of it. And there's a concert scene in the whole nine, and he's an artist and everything. And I'm like, all right, I can check it out. So I read the script. I said, this actually fits me. So you know what? We want you to do that part then. And then on top of that, we want you to use your stage name Versatile. So they'll be referencing me as Verse. They'll introduce me as Versatile in the concert scene and things of that nature. I'll have some, obviously spoken lines and all that. But after doing that, so after doing that though, and it's funny because like I was telling T, all the things that I've done, that I had, I let my actions speak. As far as like doing these jobs, that's how I got all these jobs and hired for stuff. It wasn't like, I could do this and I can do that and I could do that. I didn't have to do any of that. In the midst of me filling in gaps for other people's events and projects, and people are looking like, hey, I got this coming up. Can I hire you to do that over there too? Yeah. So I built my resume that way. So with doing that, every step has led me to certain parts. To the point they said, we want to do a meeting with you. We want to offer you a higher position. Okay. I've never done movies before. So I meet with them. They're like, hey, we want to offer you assistant director.
Wow.
And I'm like, wow. And they're like, yeah, they're like, we think you could do it. So I'm like, well, I don't know, I've never done it before. They're like, okay, well, look, this, and this. I said, that's almost like how I do my stage management stuff. That's almost how I do my event stuff for the festivals and concerts and stuff through Chicago. Maybe I can do it. So I'm like, all right, so it lined up. So then they're like, hey, do you know artists, with music and whole night? I know most of the artists in the Chicagoland area, you know what I'm saying, music. They would say, well, we're working on a soundtrack as well. So what we want to do is see if you can send us music. And I was like, I don't want to just send y'all music. I was like, at the end of the day, I was like, what kind of music are you looking for? You know, so I can cater to you better that way. So it's not like just random. So then they're like, well, and they say as far as the film score as well as for the soundtrack, they told me what they're looking for. I said, why don't you do this? So who's your executive producer for that? And they're like, well, we don't really have one. I'm like, okay, so well, I said, if you want me to help you with it, I can. They're like, well, why don't you be the executive producer? All
Wow.
right.
Hey man, fair.
So,
Yeah, so everything's lining up. You know what I mean? So those are the parts so far in the movie side of it that I'm working with, and I'm like, wow, this is like the doors opening up to get me to the other end goal I was telling y'all about. You
Wow.
know what I'm saying? Because from the DJ coalitions, which is globally, both of them, to the movies, and this is all within this last year. You know, the movie stuff, you know, as far as assistant director now, here's what I was looking at too. I'm like, wow, it's amazing because I didn't go seeking all this out. Doing the movie part, now I'm gonna have credits on IMDb as an actor, executive producer on the soundtrack, an artist, and assistant director. All
Wow.
four within 1 year on IMDb, and most people try to fight to get on there as just an actor or actress.
Wow. That's
So it's
amazing.
like all the doors open up. Yeah, I'm like, okay, cool.
But I feel like too, God allowed the doors to open up, like you said, because you have a heart to want to help people. And
Yes,
so when you have a willing, heart to do that, he definitely got to pave the way for you so that you can plant seeds for other people. So that's
exactly.
super dope. And we definitely, excited about, the things that you have coming up. And I want to ask another question. If
Sure.
there's anyone that's, under the sound of our voice that's out there, maybe want to get into media, they have a passion to do it, they desire to do it as far as being media engineer or artist or whatever, what type of advice would you give them to to just, start to do what their God-given talent?
I would say always be a sponge, always be coachable. Never let anyone tell you can't do anything. Never allow anybody to hand it to you that they can take it away from you later on. Do everything you possibly can to get it in your hands so you make your own way and
Yeah,
increase your value, know your value. And so that way nobody can play you, nobody can take it from you, and the doors will start opening, you can go through those doors and not have to worry about anybody holding you back, blackballing you, none of that stuff like that, because you're already surpassing 10 steps ahead every time. Go with your first gut, go to your first instinct, allow God to lead you. You know what I'm saying? Allow yourself to, with other people, because people like to take people with them. Along the journey, I always say this, the air gets thin the higher you climb. People that love contaminated air and contaminated environments or whatever can't go with you. So the higher you climb, it's going to get lonely. So
yeah,
just keep on pressing in, move forward, keep elevating. Anything that comes to mind you think you want to do, try it. Because you never know. You might excel at it. You might be the best you possibly can. I can definitely say that to anyone because every single thing that I do that anybody's ever asked or saw me do or had me hire me to do is all self-taught because I had to figure out certain things. But I'm like, hey, I want to try that. I want to learn that. So from graphic design, DJing, production, engineering, construction,
yeah,
home remodeling, you name it. Every single thing I put my hands on, people tried to help, tried to stop and not help or talk me out of it. If you feel like you can do it, press in, give it everything you have. And one key thing I always tell people, when it seems like all heck is breaking loose and you're trying to do something, right? And it's like, man, and it feels discouraging or like, man, everything against me. Keep going. You might be just that one last step from
yeah.
that blessing of that door opening up to go full blast into the very thing that you may have been fearful of doing before or people told you couldn't do, and you might become the best at it.
Absolutely. I definitely agree. Was there anything else that you would like to lead the people before we go?
Man, just to stay tuned, and I'm here, I'm reachable, you know what I'm saying? Like, if anybody ever needs anything, encouraging word, advice, to take the time, try to show them anything, any production, engineering, graphics, anything they need help with, you know what I'm saying? Or they're like, hey, you know what? I want to hire you. Stage management, anything, you know what I mean? To organize your events, whatever, however, I'm here. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm here to help people, like you said.
So, can you let the people know like where they can reach you at on social media?
They can find me everywhere at This Is THISIS Versatile VERSATILE everywhere.
All right. Well, we want to thank you for coming on, blessing us with your presence at It's the Chicago Vibe with Lady T. Marie and Mr. Success. And we wish you blessings and much more success as well. Thank you.
Likewise, and I thank y'all as well. And hey, continued success. You guys are on to something.
All right. Thanks.
Continue.
You're welcome.
All right, and on that note, we're gonna pay a few bills, and we'll be right back after these messages.
Do you know your love language? I heard it's better to give than to receive. And every seed that you plant will grow. Let all the love you give flow.
Dear God, thank you for the gift of family and friends. Bless everyone, for they deserve all the goodness you have given to me. May the love that binds us only grow stronger as we fulfill the destiny you have laid out for us. Protect us against any and all problems we may encounter in the future. Give us strength to overcome all of the difficulties that we are dealing with now. Heavenly Father, bless us, Lord. In your name I pray. Amen.
Many people struggle with grief, and it can weigh you down. But God wants you to be free. There is a time, a season, and a purpose for everything under the sun. This commercial was sponsored by It's a Chicago Vibe with Lady T. Marie and Mr. Success.
All right, welcome back to It's the Chicago Vibe, and had a pretty decent show, short but sweet. But before we get out of here, Lady T, won't you give the people some more words of encouragement?
Hey, y'all, I want to let y'all know that whatever your situation is, whatever you're going through, know that the best is yet to come. Know that God did not bring you this far to leave you now. You got to continue to keep moving. You got to continue to keep pushing and keep grinding no matter what is in front of you. You know, God give his greatest test to his greatest warriors. So don't give up, keep pushing and keep going for whatever it is God putting you to do. And the storm won't last always. God has not brought you this far to leave you now. This is your girl, Lady T. Marie, signing off with It's a Chicago Vibe. I'm sending love to the world and hugs to them thugs.
DJ Mr. Success.
You know my motto with it. When you witness success, you always have a ball. If I can't tell the truth, it's nothing at all. Mr. Success, bringing pleasure, no stress. Until next week, y'all, peace.
Peace out.
C-H-I-C-A-G-O, C-H-I-C-A, let's go, C-H-I-C-A-G-O, C-H-I-C-A, let's go, C-H-I-C-A-G-O, C-H-I-C-A, let's go, C-H-I-C-A-G-O, C-H-I-C-A.